Hey guys, welcome to another MapleStory video. Alright, so last video I made was about 5 easy ways to get some damage boosts for your characters, and for the most part all of those were free options because you spent time to get them done instead of money. And that meant non-equipment based avenues of funding, but you do need good gear to make all that other stuff work. So here's what today's video is going to be about. 5 easy ways to make Mesos. Mehso, Meeso. I actually honestly have no idea what the official pronunciation is, but whatever, who cares. If you're in Reboot and you're watching this video, this is the wrong video for you, since you make all of your Meso by Meso farming and whatnot. This guide is intended for normal servers for the most part, like Windia, Bara, Scania, what have you. Like damage video, this will also take massive amounts of time. You could very easily get yourself billions and billions of Meso by buying it from someone or real world trading, but that's not why you're here. If you wanted to do that, you would have done it by now. So that leaves us with the free-to-play players, which means let's get started. First method is intense power crystals that drop from pretty much every major boss in the boss tab. If you press T or by going into the boss expedition tab, you'll come across a directory of all the major bosses you can fight in the game. Here we have Zakum, Horntail, Pink Bean, Populatus Clock, Hilla, everyone from Avengers Endgame is here, so take your pick. Each boss that you kill drops a weird blue egg alien looking thing that is called an intense power crystal. These things can be exchanged for Meso by going into the free market, rest in peace, and talking to an NPC called the Collector, and bam, free money. The amount of Meso you get for each power crystal depends on the difficulty of the boss and how many party members were used to kill the boss. I have a link in the video description that shows you all the bosses and how much Meso their power crystal drops. Long story short, harder the boss, more Meso you get, and for each party member you have, the Meso is split up. For example, if an intense power crystal drops that's worth 3 million Meso, if you sold the boss, it gives you the full 3 mil. If you went with a friend, you two would get 1.5 each, and if you went with 3 people, it would give you 1 mil each, so on and so forth. Make sense? This means to maximize your total Meso gain per day, you not only want to fight as many hard bosses as possible, but also make an attempt to solo them. However, if you can barely solo a boss, there's no shame in going in with a buddy and helping each other out. Naturally, the super hard bosses like Chaos or Abyss, Lotus, Damien, and such drop significant Meso on account of you being able to kill them only once per week. But here are the list of bosses you can do daily for consistent Meso gain per week, and here's a list of the weekly bosses to go after. Quick note, the Collector will only take 60 power crystals per week, so if you want to go for best efficiency, always take out the hardest bosses you can take out each day. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below, but I'm fairly sure each character on your account can do 60 power crystals per week. So if you have the dedication and patience to farm these crystals, you should do it on multiple characters so that you can get even more Meso. Pretty normal pace means of getting Meso, but it works. I do it all the time. Now, regarding the tip with going with a friend, if you aren't able to solo it, just remember that you and your friend can both get the full amount of Meso if you go at it alone. So let's say you guys are both able to kill Chaos Horntail by yourself. You guys should do it by yourselves, as in the two of you, so that both of you guys can get a fully charged Chaos Horntail intense power crystal rather than the two of you guys having to split up one. More Meso, more bang for your buck, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. However, if you aren't strong enough to kill Chaos Horntail, if neither of you guys can reliably kill Chaos Horntail by yourself, but you can kill it together, then you definitely should go in together so you can go ahead and at least get 1 power crystal split among the two of you. But if you can solo it, then you should go for it. Even if it takes a little bit longer and even if you don't like soloing it, you should definitely go for it. Next method is Arcane River Farming. I feel like a lot of people forget this, but it's very much possible to sell node stones and Arcane River droplets that you find while training throughout Arcane River. Some people prioritize using those node stones for themselves or saving up the droplets so that they can get arcane weapons. But if you feel like focusing on getting some extra pocket change, those account transferable node stones can be disenchanted and recrafted at a slight loss for tradable node stones, which can then be sold in the auction house. Prices vary per world, of course. Same with droplets, which do have a much lower drop rate than node stones, but that doesn't mean they're impossible to get. And because they're harder to get, they're definitely more valuable than nodes. If you're making the push to reach 250 or the new level 275, you'll easily run into a ton of nodes and droplets, especially during 2x drop events. And there's a lot of ways for you to increase your drop rate, such as drop gear, inner ability, coupons, etc. This isn't as reliable or consistent as the bossing for intense power crystals, but it does exist. If you finished up your important nodes for your own character's skills, then any excess nodes you get while training should be expended, so you can sell them. And they reasonably sell quick. Same with droplets. For players who lack the more advanced drop rate multipliers like drop gear and whatnot, a good drop multiplier is to get yourself a 2x drop card from the reward points shop. Have either a Lucky Winter if you can get one from the auction house, if not, Big Spider Familiar, and then grind your character for a few hours, or if you want to go the distance, then grind out like 8+ hours. It's all depending on how much time you want to put into it. Method number 3 is Galax. This method is actually quite uncommon for some reason, despite being one of the easiest and most linear ways you can make huge bank in a reasonably short amount of time. I say reasonably, I mean a month, but hey, it's a month. That's actually not that much time. Hear me out on this one. Almost all of Galax's equips have been best in slot for over 6 years now, and they're still very valuable in the market. Pendants and belts are kind of so-so because while still really good money, they're only a couple hundred mil if that, because you can get them easily just by killing Galax. The real moneymaker are the earrings and rings you can get from Lucia for gold coins, namely the superior earrings and the superior ring. I remember learning this method from one of my fans actually. Around 2015, I got an email from a viewer who told me about how he went through the hell that is Galax prequest on 40 characters. That had to have taken at least like 60 to 80 hours, but he did it. And then every single day for like 30 days, he did this daily 3 runs on Galax on all 40 characters, but after a month, he was able to get 40 superior Galax rings and 40 superior Galax earrings. And back when each of them were worth like 8 bill Meso clean, he made 640 billion Meso in 30 days. Think about that for a moment. 30 days, more than half a trillion Meso. Sure, took him like 3 hours each day to do Galax dailies on 40 characters, plus the insanity that is doing Galax prequests 40 times, but 640 billion in a month. That's enough to fully deck out pretty much any character you want to a reasonably respectable range. Of course, what he did was on a very huge extreme, and it took hundreds of hours of patience to do one single redundant thing. But it works, and it's pretty viable. It's easy, especially nowadays, for like a level 150 or 160 character to do normal Galax, which nets you around 10 to 15 coins per day. It only takes 15 or so days, not even, for you to get a superior Galax ring or earring. And then you can do this on every character once. And if you're crazy, then you can delete characters and then remake them so you can do it again. Reinforced and solid Galax rings still go for a good amount too, and on rare occasions you can even sell reinforced Galax earrings. Even if you don't go as crazy as 40 characters, doing them on like 10 to 15 characters will still give you a commendable 160 or so billion. Once again, arbitrary numbers since it depends on the world pricing, but I think a lot of players aren't aware just how straightforward it is to make a small fortune just by doing Galax alone. It takes a huge time investment, but it's guaranteed to get you rich. Method number 4, Dark World Tree and Scrapyard. These two areas house Damien and Lotus. They're two major endgame bosses and Black Mage commanders. They're also where you can grab yourself Apslab equipment, which are very terrific budget endgame equips. Both areas have daily quests that you can do to get currency that can be exchanged for Apslab coins, but you can also sell them. The Scrapyard provides you energy cores while Dark World Tree gives Stigma Spirit Stones. You can either get them by doing daily quests, killing Lotus or Damien, or sometimes if you get lucky, they can actually drop from the monsters in their respective areas, kind of like how droplets do in Arcane River. Dark World Tree's daily quests are really simple, just kill monsters and pick up drops. You get at least 4 a day and you can sell those 4 for a couple tens of mil each. Server dependent like always. Scrapyard grants you 3 a day and their quests are roughly the same, killing monsters and picking up loot. However, Scrapyard is much more tedious to do than DWT for even less gain, because not only do you have to do 1 quest at a time compared to DWT where you can do all 4 of them at the same time, but the quests are marginally longer in time due to bad spawn rates, how big Scrapyard is, and how big the maps are. As a result, I and many others don't do Scrapyard dailies. With that being said though, it's all the more reason why you should do both, because energy cores sell for more than Stigma Spirit Stones in the auction house, since not many people like doing Scrapyard. You can easily rake in a couple hundred mil a day even. It's roughly the same Meso output as daily bosses you do, if not a little bit higher. Last method, selling services. This is somewhat inconsistent because there are times when no one would want to purchase services and vice versa. But things like Arcane Service, Apsolab, Galax Scroll Service, Master Craftsman and Meister Cube Service, Flaming Service, Holy Symbol, Kana, etc. There are a lot of ways players can help each other out for a small fee, and you can do the same too. I can't really go in too much detail with this method since there are like so many different services you can do for players, but if you ask around and do some research, you can make some pretty decent pocket money. Obviously, the most famous service of all is the coveted Frenzy Totem service, which if you combine with Firestarter and even Holy Symbol on top, it can cost up to like a billion Meso an hour during 2x, which is ridiculous. But if you clicked on this video, I'm going to assume you don't have a Frenzy Totem. Still though, there's a lot of other services you can do for money. I know Kana is about to get reworked, but that might not come out in GMS for at least another 6 to 10 months, so you have time. And that should be all of them. Now listen, I know a lot of these methods are stuff you guys know about. I'm also pretty sure many of you guys aren't happy with these methods because many of them take a long time for you to make substantial progress, like the Galax one or bosses. But remember, if you're not willing to spend any money on the game and be a free-to-play player, which like I said before is totally respectable, you do have to put a lot of time though. Money or time, one or the other. Though funnily enough, it's not actually the time factor that people struggle with. After all, I would be more than willing to spend 3 to 4 hours a day doing Galax dailies if it meant I could get 640 billion Meso in less than a month. It's more lack of discipline. So many players, including myself, dislike doing the same monotonous thing over and over again every day. But honestly, that's MMORPGs for you. Grind, grind, grind. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below, and if you know any other methods for making Meso and want to share them, you're more than welcome to. Also, once again, if you guys want to chit chat with other viewers and or with me even, there's a link to my public Discord in the video description as well, so be sure to check that out. If you enjoyed, a rating would be much appreciated, and stay tuned for more guide videos in the future. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon in the next video. Take care.